Good afternoon. Welcome to Eretz Israel and our Erev Shabbat Zohar talk. I'm Avraham Shira, and we're holding in Achrei Mot, the parsha that speaks about the death of the two sons of Aaron. And we're a very interesting discussion here. We see from Rabbi Abba Amar, he said, "If you do that, Hashem b'yirah, serve God with awe." Raza Demila, and the secret of the word, if do it Hashem b'yirah, ma yirah hacha. Why does it tell us to serve God with awe here? But we've already explained before, but the beginning of awe is really knowledge, awareness, consciousness. So are we serving God with awe, or being told to do so? Or are we being told, first of all, you have to have das, you have to have knowledge, you have to have consciousness before you can come to the level of awe. And awe is a great thing. Obviously, when you have awe, it refocuses your entire life, and your priorities are changed. And face it, that's what part of what serving Hashem is all about, is having divine priorities, as opposed to all these earthly considerations that throw us off our game. At the beginning of awe, of wisdom is awe. And we also say that fearing Hashem is also called on the name of awe. Rabbi Elazar Amar, a person that wants to come and do his serve his master, he should do so with awe. And then someone in another place begin because the Rav explains that the person that wants to serve Hashem from awe, he's moving from the bottom of the tree upward. And this implies a certain development, that I need a certain quality to get to the next quality, to get to the next quality, and so on up the tree. But then we have in Shema Yisrael, we see it says, "V'ahavta et Hashem Elokecha." You have love your God. You will love your God, and some take it as you must love your God, love God. And so we see that that there is different ways of loving and serving Hashem. Gilu Ra'adah is another verse that the Zohar brings. Be joyous in awe. Being joyous in awe. So then there's this command to serve God with joy. And then we learn further. The Zohar goes to tell us Vishtakach Barna. She finds Yavideh V'Vabekudei all right. He serves Hashem with joy in doing the mitzvot. Do it Hashem b'simcha, and serve God with joy. So we see you can serve God with joy. You can serve God with awe. We're commanded to love God and serve Him with love. So, well, which is it? And, where do I feel at home? And so, I found this Zohar because someone was just debating with me about this very point, that they're saying, well, I want to serve God with love. I'm tired of awe and fear and all that stuff, and a lot of people are, especially in our generation, that the idea of serving God with awe and fear and of His might and His greatness is just like too far from my movie, far from the present mindset of the people. On the other hand, there is a difference between awe and fear, because fear is usually self-connected. Fear for my well-being, fear for my future. It's all about me. But awe erases the person's personal needs and elevates the person's focus to God Himself. So this is a huge shift. It sounds like a little shift, but it's not a little shift, because to move from worrying and thinking and being awe, a fear of what's going to happen, and I better do this because this might happen, and I learned that if I do this, that this is going to happen, and then I have this fear-based system for loving God, then I'm going to perhaps forget that that's not awe. That's not yirah. Pachad is fear. Yira is awe. You're no longer the center of the story. When you're in a state of awe, it's no longer about you. When you come along, the horizon of a mountain and there's the sunrise, it's awesome. It's awesome. You just stop your donkey or your Range Rover, and you just gaze at the sun coming up. Same thing right now. The sun is going down in Eretz Israel. You stop. It's no longer about us, that awesome moment. And that's, if we can serve Hashem with that kind of awe, it's certainly a different quality of experience than doing mitzvot because I'm afraid of punishment, because that's all brings it back to self. And we're trying to reach up to a higher self, let's face it. And so when we go to the level of joy, joy is the same way. When you're in real, true joy, you could be happy because good things happen to you, and that's very legitimate. It happens all the time. People are happy the day you're married, and happy the day that you get a new job, and the happy day you get material things as well. But that type of happiness also is limited, because it's about me again. But the true simcha, the true joy, is the joy that arises from the revelation of Gilu Bara'ada. Be joyous. Lashon Gilu is the type of joy that comes from a sudden revelation, because Ligalot is to reveal. So Gilui is a revelation, and that's the joy that comes with the revelation. Suddenly you're surprised, and a wonderful news comes to you. That's Gilu, and when you feel the awe of that wonderful news, that new revelation of joy, then you see that it's not about me. And so the me is the thing that's filtering our quality of the experience. Understand? It's the big difference is in a very little place of what we call, the ego. Now, Ahava is the type of feeling of that I love you, I want to give to you. That my love it's not about joy, and it's not about awe, but it's about wanting to give. And so there's this level where you want to give to God. You want to restore the kingship of Hashem in the world, instead of all the people serving all these false kings. And that's one way. And then another way is that you want people to know how great Hashem is because of the Torah. And you see how awesome this book is. It's not just a book. It's a redaction of all creation into words and songs. And it's beyond our understanding how perfect the Torah is. So that type of joy, that type of love, is based, again, on the perception of something greater than myself. So you see, it's always coming back to that same shift from self to the klal, to the oneness, to the big picture, from my little picture. Now, we can't avoid the little picture. We have to live with it. So what we see here is that the Kabbalah comes along and tells us that every soul has a different root in the tree of life. In other words, there's 10 main traits that correspond to the top of your head, your crown, your keter, chokhmah and bina, wisdom and understanding, chesed and gevurah, kindness, loving kindness, and might and strength, tiferet, truth, and then your ability to endure, which is netzach, and hod is splendor, yesod is loyalty, malchut is kingship. These 10 traits are all firing in our soul in different balances for each person. And this paradigm of these 10 traits is what we call Adam Harishon, the first man. Now, he had all the traits, and all the souls were part of him. All of humanity was born from one soul, so to speak. And they were all created in the beginning. And then each generation, a different layer appears. Okay, so what is this taking us to is a new understanding that when people say that love is most important, and people say that joy is most important in serving God, and people say that awe is most important in serving God, and here's a little joy came running in the room here. Here's another one. Oh, here she is. These are the joys, right? But what we have to understand is each soul comes from a different place of the tree, so each soul is going to shine a different trait. And that's why we're different. And that's why some people say this is more important, that's important. And there's no right or wrong, because we're different beings and we're created from different sources. All of it's, of course, the one living being is our source, but the different traits that he created for us to find identity in, that's where we shine. And so some people are really big about awe, and some people are really big about joy, and some people, oh, it's about love. And all three are right. And I see that a lot of people need to cross a little bridge of understanding that we need all these traits. Now, people know these things intuitively, but when we get excited about something, you can always see people get excited about different things. And right now, Shabbat is the time of the day, and Shabbat is a big reason to get excited, and it's a divinely ordained joy and love and all of them together. And anybody who has not had Shabbat and not had Shabbat in Eretz Israel and not had Shabbat in Jerusalem and not had Shabbat, on their own, plot of earth in this holy place, I envy you that first Shabbat that you have here in Eretz Israel in Jerusalem. And I envy the joy and the fear and the awe that will all be combined together. And when they get combined together, it's no longer that you believe in God. You know that you have a God. And he's part of you. And he's living inside you, through you, with you, of you, from you, to you. In every direction. And yeah. Well, I was 4 years old once too. Anyway, so we should all be blessed with the joy, with the awe, and with the love. All of them together in our service of Hashem, and bind them together as one. And then you'll see that you will have an elevation of soul that you did not know where you were capable of. So I'm going to bless you all with a Shabbat Shalom. We'll see you next week on all the outlets and continue our Saturday night Zohar, Bezrat Hashem. And we'll hear good news. All the best. Shabbat Shalom.